Maggie O'Farrelly, it's lovely to be joined with you here at Croke Park. Obviously, it's very different when you're here on a match day.
Absolutely, yeah. No, look, today has been great. So it has, been part of this campaign for Super Value and for the GEA. Diversity and inclusion is a big part of our communities, and it's an opportunity for us to, I suppose, to showcase that and I suppose to highlight the diverse range of people who live in our communities through this campaign.
Absolutely. And for you personally then, tell me a little bit about you and how you got into refereeing.
Yeah, that's always a good question. So it is. I suppose for me, I've always been very passionate about Gaelic games. Started out playing within my club at a very early age. So it is, and at home even before that, Gaelic football was always a big thing. So it was, and then I was involved in a wee bit of coaching. Then still playing for my club. Involved with coaching within the club, and the chairperson at the time asked me would I be interested in doing a referee's course, because more than likely the club were going to be sanctioned with having to provide a referee or give up home advantage in the league.
Okay.
So I was just like, oh God, that's nice. That's a nice question to be asked, because I had no interest or no desire to ever become a referee. But lo and behold, I'm still here.
Yeah.
I'm still refereeing. So it was something that, as I said, I didn't envisage ever doing. But the opportunity came. And I thought, it was just going to be refereeing maybe a couple of underage games, and I didn't think too much about it. I said, look, I'm happy to help the club out, as we all do. Once you're involved in that sort of community of club, you feel that you have to give something back, and I sort of fell into that hot seat, I suppose, and done the course, and obviously the fitness test, whatever came with it, the rules test, and refereed a few games, and next thing was, then I was sort of put up the next year then into refereeing adult football, and my journey sort of began from there, and then been, I suppose, nominated then to go on to the national or the Ulster Academy, so that was kind of an opportunity that came out of nowhere, really, to be honest with you, because I didn't think I suppose that opportunity was even there, first and foremost. And I suppose then it came, and obviously then you sort of you see an opportunity maybe to progress then after that, and I suppose it sort of came probably
out of the blue almost.
Out of the blue, yeah.
But then you fell in love with it, obviously.
Fell in love with it, yeah. And look, it's a big part of my life now. Like Jesus, all my life is taken over now with refereeing. I'm involved in sport, and particularly Gaelic games. Having studied sport in college, been sporting myself, and in terms of being actively involved in sport, playing camogie, ladies football, played a wee bit of soccer, athletics. So I've kind of done a lot of probably team sports. Apart from athletics, as a wee bit individual, but I enjoy the whole aspect of being involved in sport.
And a lot of firsts for you, like the first female referee of the men's county game as well. Obviously to get on the panel as well. Was that the first female to ever get on the panel?
Yeah, I suppose within my own county there was probably a number of firsts, having refereed the junior, intermediate and senior club finals within my own county, so they were great honours. So they were, and particularly refereeing the senior club final was a massive honour, because I suppose from a club referee, that's what you aspire to do, and you'd be hoping that once it comes to the county senior final day, that you'd be part of the team of officials on that day. And my opportunity came, and I was delighted to get it. And I suppose refereeing the replay between Gowna and Ramor United was a big occasion for me personally, like whatever. And I suppose then being nominated or put onto the national referees panel then was another huge honour, and a great achievement, I suppose, in my own personal pathway, and being on that national panel now for the last year. So it's been great, and in terms of experience, so you're learning all the time.
You do the women's game as well. Obviously you did All Ireland finals. What is it like, the difference between refereeing men and women's games?
It's no different. You still have a job to do in terms of application of rule, and preparing yourself in terms of fitness and whatnot, and not only like the physical fitness, but obviously your mental fitness as well. So it's all of those things, So like some people say that maybe it's easier to referee one over the other, but it definitely isn't. At the end of the day, you still have to implement the rules. Obviously your knowledge of the rules first and foremost, and being able to implement that, and implement that then in a pressure situation as well. So one's definitely not easier than the other.
Who gives back the more back chat?
Well, I can't be saying that now. No, definitely not. No, in fairness, so I think there is a great level of respect there for officials, not just me, but officials in general. Like, you not too often you'll see a referee falling out with a player or vice versa.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It is a high pressurized, role. How do you find balancing all of that? Like when you walk away from a pitch after a tough game?
Yeah, I suppose like it's your preparation when you're going into the game and how you prepare and mentally how you prepare and physically and whatnot, like, and it's just trying to get yourself focused on the game at hand, 60 minutes, 70 minutes, whatever it is, that you're focused and you're trying to perform to the best version of yourself that you possibly can do, given that you're trying to come out of the game as clean as you possibly can. And do the job to the best of your ability and obviously minimise the mistakes or whatever it is that you could happen. The probabilities are obviously always very high in sport. Like you can't predict these things, or you can never predict how a game's going to finish. So you can't, so it's how you prepare for that. But then once the game's over, then that you actually reflect back on the game and you watch the game over, like, just to ensure, that.
Would you go home and watch it back?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think all of us do. Like, because at the end of the day, we want to learn. Like, so if something has went wrong, or you've maybe that if you look back in hindsight and you think, oh yeah, I could have done that differently or whatever.
Okay.
But, so there's an opportunity there for learning and maybe just to sort of think back on. So if you ever face that situation again, what would you do differently?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of learning opportunity from it then. But once the game is done and dusted, and once you have reflected on it and maybe taken note in terms of mental note or personal note, where you're physically writing a note to yourself, that you put the game aside, because at the end of the day, you have to focus on the next game.
It's similar to a player. They go back and look back on the game and say, okay, I could have played that ball differently, took that score. Probably the same sort of scenarios. Is there a time that you went home and looked at a game and said to yourself, oh, maybe I shouldn't have given that, or I should have given that? Or
of course there's times, you look back and you think back, and even like it could come down to a situation where your position, like in terms of you're either too close or you're too far away, or somebody has actually blocked your vision in terms of a player maybe just moving forward or moving back at the wrong time for you to either miss something or to get something. In terms of a decision that you make or you don't make or you fail to make. So again, it's very much, but I think it is, and now in the last couple of years, like, technology has massively helped with that in terms of clips and how we can do things differently, and it's the learning process that we gain from that.
And a lot of preparation goes into being a referee. We're hearing a lot about the fitness test at the minute, so I might just ask you a little bit about that. David Goldrick is not going to be refereeing this year because he failed to pass the bleep test. He did the New York game, but then it was actually after that it all came out. So it said that he actually had a muscle strain at the time and he didn't make it to the line, and that's what happened. That he basically didn't pass, but he will be on the sideline as a linesman and he'll be a standby referee. What did you make of that call?
Well, I was actually in Texas, so I actually...
Oh yes, on the All-Star trip.
All-Star trip, yeah. So I actually knew nothing about this until I came back. So I didn't, because I'm not on social media, so I didn't know of any of the crack that was going on. So it was in relation to this instance, and so look, it is what it is, and it's not my decision to make. Yeah,
no, that's absolutely fair. And what is the fitness test like then? Can you give us an insight into that bleep test?
Well, the bleep test it's an intermittent bleep test. We do it in both codes for men's and women's, so we do, and it's no different, I suppose, from year in, year out type of thing. So you've got different levels to ascertain or to reach, and that's as simple as it is.
And it's 17.6, I believe, to reach for a championship.
17.4.
17.4. That's a high level of fitness that you need to be able to reach.
Yeah,
it's incredible.
Yeah. Can be tough, yeah.
So how is your training, I suppose, for that? I'm sure you have to do a high level training to be fit for that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, your fitness is a key part of it. Like, it's no different from players. Like, their fitness is very much very high intensity as well. So it is, like, so it's the preparation in terms of how you go about preparing for a fitness test and how you go about preparing for a game. It's very much part and parcel of what you do week in, week out.
And what's your day like on a day that you will referee a big game? How do you start your day?
Normally go for a walk. So up, eating breakfast and just go for a walk and just sort of think about the game in hand and just playing different scenarios over and over in your head, I suppose, and it's just been relaxed, you know, and nothing changes, like, you know, that your preparation is the same that you do week in, week out, or day in, day out. You know, it's how you prepare yourself, and it's not to get overwhelmed or overexcited about the situation. Like, you know, I like to think that I'm a wee bit calm, like, you know, but obviously inside you mightn't be so calm, but it's just dealing with that, like, you know, and I suppose it's as I said, it's your preparation and how you deal with things normally when it comes to a game, you know. So I like to go out and go for a walk and just relax and just get myself organised, you know, to go.
Yeah, the mental side of it all, it seems to be really important. Is there enough support there, do you think, for referees at the minute?
Yeah, there is. Yeah, like there is. I think there is in terms of support that we get, like, you know, from mentors and officials that's in charge of committees and different things. Like, I definitely do think there's sufficient support there. Yeah.
And are you looking forward to getting going for this championship season?
Yeah, championship has started. Yeah, championship has started with a bang over the last couple of weeks. So it has. Yeah, so it's been interesting so far. And yeah, looking forward to it. Like, been involved already. I've been out with the senior championship in Ulster with Tyrone and Monaghan.
I was there. I seen you. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was running the sideline that evening. So so it's nice to be involved, and of course you're obviously going to learn from those days out as well. So yeah. So. There's no doubt it's going to be a busy summer ahead, officiating in the Tanchon and the Samovar.
Brilliant, Maggie. Thanks so much. Thanks for your time.
No problem.
Thank you.